Nice to meet you, Flex. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. It's great to have you here. So, for anyone
Thank you.
watching, we're doing this interview Alpha Capital Group with Flex. He's going to answer some questions for us and give you guys some value. So, do you want to start by giving us a quick introduction to yourself? So, tell us your story, like how and when you found trading.
Yeah, so I'm 20 years old. I live in Belgium. I'm born in Belgium. I got into trading actually in 2020 when COVID hit, and how I got into trading was with crypto, first of all. So, I saw the hype in 2020 with the crypto, so I wanted to get into it because back then I was still a student and I wanted to make money, obviously, as everyone. And back then I was still with the get rich quick type scheme, so I wanted to make money fast. And that's how I got into crypto and I started to dig deeper. First, I started with spot trading, which is just, I mean, you need a lot of capital for that. So it didn't really work out for me. So I was just looking for more stuff to, get my money up. And I got introduced into futures trading, which I started in the beginning with some small capital because I didn't know how to trade. And I actually started with taking signals, and that never went really well for me. I mean, I made some money, and then you lose some, you make some, you lose some. And at the end of the day, you don't learn anything, and you don't really evolve. So I didn't really like the aspect of it. And I was also going to school, so signals weren't a bad thing for me because I was taking them whilst in school, so I didn't have to analyze a lot.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I was like, okay, I'm not learning anything. If like this guy dies randomly or if he disappears, I won't have anything. So I'm like, okay, so I gotta learn it myself. So I started to watch on YouTube some videos and stuff, and I started with just basic trend line patterns and stuff. And I just was just trading on TradingView. So what I did was I used to just analyze, I used to put on my long or short position, whatever, and then just see what price does. And along the way, I got more confident. Along the way, I thought, okay, I'm kind of like doing some things right. Of course, I'm doing some things wrong, but you're getting along with it and you're learning and stuff. So I was like, okay, let me trade. So I was like, I put in like $100 in an account and I blew that immediately, like in the first day. So I was like, okay, this is way different because when you're trading live, it's like a whole different experience. So then I decided, like, okay, let me stop all of this. Let me just really focus on everything. So that's like a fast forward a few months because I actually lost a little bit of motivation after I do that account. So I was like out of the trading for like a few months, and that's when we came across like 2021. I think somewhere in May. That's like in April I started back to trading and I started straight with futures, and I was actually doing way better than I expected because what I still have to this date is whenever you take a break from something you're very good at, whenever you come back, you'll be like twice as better because I don't know what it is, but it's just something that I've seen along the way. Even what like if I trade right now, if I take a break, I always come back better than normal. So that's also a very good thing to know. So yeah, what I did was in April, I started to trade, I started to grind, I started to actually trade with other people who are like better than me so I could learn from them. And I traded from April to like May, and in May I had a really good month. I was actually, I think, top 50 in the Binance leaderboards. So
Wow.
that was a really good achievement for me, and that
Yeah.
really boosted my confidence. And due to the confidence, I kept on trading, and I actually managed to get funded with a crypto investment company, which is like so rare to find. There's a company who fund you in crypto, and that was a very good thing to me because it was spot. But because I didn't have that big capital back then, they actually funded me and they wanted me to trade spot, which is, I mean, it's way less risky and it's easier to just hold for a few days or a few weeks and just, get a decent amount of capital. So I was like, okay, bet, let me do that. So I did that for a few months, and on the side with the profits I was getting, I was also trading futures, and I was actually doing quite good for like until like I think 2022 of May. And that's when I started to help my friends and stuff out. So I was trading crypto until like 2022 October, I could say like November. And now in that time, what happened was crypto was like dropping really hard. And it was really hard for me to find any trades. And that's when I got introduced into forex, and that was actually very weird because in the beginning, my friends always say get into forex, and I'm like, bro, no, leave me alone. I don't want to trade crypto, and I was like, bro, I don't want this. And I actually started to trade forex, and I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. It's faster. I could get into trades in an hour, 2 hours, and with crypto it could take days. And then I actually got introduced to the funded companies, and I was like, damn. this is something crazy. I've never heard of this. And that's when I fell in love with the forex. I just straight went into forex. I never looked back at crypto. I never traded anymore. I like to this day I don't trade crypto anymore. It's like a whole different plan. And from there on, I just went with the funded companies. I first started with my forex funds. I know a lot of people did, which
Mm.
but the thing is, like, I stopped with my forex funds before they got
Yeah.
convicted, I think, because I had a nice account on my forex funds, but I actually blew that account because I kept getting slipped and I kept getting spreads and stuff. So I even told my friends, like, okay, I'm not gonna go with this prop firm anymore because
Wow.
it's like there's too much slippage for me to handle, and I trade lower time frames, so my stop losses are quite tight. Like, I could say 5 to 10 pips. So if you get slipped like half, like 5 pips extra, that's like 1.5%, which is
Mm.
painful. It's actually painful because if you have that 2, 3 trades in a row, even your mental is gonna be draining.
Mm.
And so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not doing this. So I went FTMO. I went with True Forex Funds, both very good prop firms, very happy with them. And then I came across ACG. Never seen any conditions like this. It's like very, very good. I'm actually quite surprised because usually the conditions with a prop firm, they're not the best, which is okay because at the end of the day they fund you a big capital and you just gotta go with it. But with ACG, you have no commissions, which is like a big thing for me because when I trade lower time frame, I tend to go with, like, if I scalp, like, let's say in a day I have like 50 to 60 lots. When you pay $5 commission, that's $250.
Yeah.
And if you put that on a month scale, you're giving away so much profits to commission. So that was a big thing for me. And I was like, okay. And I actually calculated, I think it's like 4 to 5 grand a month that I would be wasting to commission, which is just gonna be in my pockets anyway. So
Yeah.
that's for ACG. That's something that really good. And just the customer support, always open to questions and stuff. So I'm happy with where I am right now.
Amazing. So you haven't went back to futures or crypto then since you
No,
found
no, no, no,
forex?
no. I haven't even looked at crypto for the past, like, it's been a long time. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. Only for
Yeah.
like long-term holding, but like in trading wise, I never want to go back to that.
Yeah, amazing. No, that's good. I'm glad you found your way and you found what you enjoy now. So this is an interesting question. So whenever you found trading, did you feel like it was immediately for you, or did you feel like you had to use a lot of discipline to really like knuckle down and study the skill set?
Yeah, in the start, obviously, when I found trading, I was like, okay, actually, when you find trading, it's like it get advertised as like financial free,
Mm.
location free, time free, and like every young guy who is dreaming of that, you want to be anywhere, be able to make money whenever you're sleeping or whatever. So it was actually like, in the first, I was like, okay, I'll be rich in like a month or two, I'll drop out of school, I'm rich, this and that, and then once the reality hits, it's actually painful, but like you then realize that, okay, it is possible, but it just takes hard work, which is gonna make it even more nice because not
Mm.
everyone is able to do it, which is actually a motivation for yourself to grind it out. Because if everybody can't do it, I want to do it myself. I don't want to be doing what everybody can do. You want to be different.
Mm.
And I had to give a lot of discipline, a lot of late nights where I had to just, you'd be sitting back testing for hours and it's boring, but you just have to do it. You have to journal your trades. It's hella boring, but you have to do it. And that's what it
Mm.
takes to become a trader. And I still, to this day, I go through all of the back tests. I just still back test like yesterday, and it is boring. Yes, it is boring, but you have to do. It's like when an athlete has to run for his training. I mean, it is boring, but like at the end of the day, if you want to be on the top, you gotta show up every day. You gotta do what it takes, and as a trader, you just have to go through it, have discipline, and you just gotta do what you gotta do. That's it. That's simple as that.
Yeah, I think that's very important because over the years I've seen people come into trading, they really want the freedom, the lifestyle, but then, maybe a couple of weeks later they say, "Oh, I don't enjoy this. It's not for me. It's not my passion." But what a lot of people don't realize is many of us don't find an immediate passion for it. It's like you said, you just have to get on with it. So I think that's very important for people trying to decide if it's for them or not. It should be the end result you focus on rather than whether you actually enjoy the work. Because eventually you do enjoy it, but at the start it does take a lot of discipline.
Yeah, yeah, because like it could take years for you to get rewarded for what you've been doing. It could take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depending on your skill set. Like at the beginning, you might be making $10 to $20, but like when you mastered it, you could be making six figures in a month
Yeah.
with no problem. You could be trading like only 5 hours a week and still make six figures, which is what we all want to do.
Yeah, exactly. So what pairs do you trade now that you're in Forex?
Yeah, I've like I've watched this, but like I only trade one pair. I only trade Euro
Nice.
USD, and sometimes I like to switch to gold whenever I see that the price action on EU is not favored for me.
Mm.
So like I just look at the charts. Like from the previous day, I will always do my markups. So let's say I want to trade London, I'll just look at like let's say from Asia or from like yesterday's New York session, I'll just look at the charts. I'm like, okay, these are the two, three places I want to buy or sell from. If I see that it's very choppy or it's too far away, then usually I just skip EU and I look at gold. But usually I just set my alerts, whichever pair hits it gets me in a trade. But I've always said that EU is the best pair for me. It's like the best pair ever that you should trade and you could trade. I've said this many times, but like EU is just the love of my life, you know.
Amazing. And how did you find that? Did you have to trade, many different pairs to find that that was the one for you, or?
When I got introduced into forex, I just started with Euro USD because it's the most common pair.
Yeah.
And I've actually switched a few pairs. I went to AUD USD, GBP USD, GBP JPY, and all those pairs. I tried all JPY pairs because I thought that randomly one pair would suddenly make me the best. And then I realized that okay, it doesn't determine what pair you trade. You just have to master a pair. And like every pair has like kind of a different move to itself. And when you master the pair, when you get the intuition what the pair is kind of gonna do, then you could just master it. And that's what I did with EU. I probably practiced like 2 to 3 thousand trades on just EU. And when you do that, it's like a walk in the park, you know. EU's just, you know what it's gonna do. It's like every day the same thing what you do.
Yeah, it becomes very repetitive then.
Yeah.
For sure. Nice. Okay. Where did you get your information on how to learn to trade Forex? So did you do a course? Did you teach yourself through YouTube, etc.? What was your path with regards to
Okay.
education?
Yeah. So what I first did, like obviously I had info from crypto previously.
Mm,
And what I did was I was actually trading like trend lines and support resistance and stuff at the first. But when I was in crypto, it was like 2022 in May, I was getting familiar with smart money concepts.
mm,
But I was trading that on the side, as in I was back testing and demo trading that, but I was still having my main strategy on live crypto. And whenever I got into Forex, I seen a lot of people talk about smart money concepts. So I was like, okay, maybe I should, step up my game and actually look at what smart money concept is. So I actually was talking to a guy, some random guy, which I met on Discord, and he told me like, okay, smart money concepts is like this, and he showed me a few videos, right? And I was watching a few videos, and I never understood anything, but the guy kept helping me, so I'm actually thankful for him because he kept always helping me. I was asking his dumb questions, but he was never mad at me. He just wanted to help. So I'm actually
yeah.
glad for that. And then he just kept showing me videos and videos, and the videos be 2 hours, 3 hours. So I was lazy to watch, I'll be honest. I never watched those videos. But then he showed me like a video of 20 minutes, and I actually watched that one. I understood the whole term of it because if you look at smart money concept, what it's trying to do is it kind of wants to make sense after every move. So let's say EU goes up, smart money concept is there to like explain why it went up, right? And that's what I found very interesting because whenever I was trading like breakouts and stuff, let's say your breakout fails, why does it fail? You have no idea, right? It just fails. But what smart money concepts, like it always gave me a reason why I failed, and that's a good thing because I can always refine myself based on these, like based on why I failed, right? I can always adjust my losses based on if I fail or if I win and this and that. So just I watched two videos, and I was always a lazy guy. I never wanted to watch too many videos. So I went straight into market with all these videos. So I watched two videos. I went straight into market, tried to trade. I'm obviously at the start it went very wrong. I was keeping on making losses and loss. I actually tried to give up. And then I was like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe I'm just too lazy. So I went on to watch two more videos. It was supply and demand video and just on liquidity. So I watched those videos and I was like, okay, this is gonna be my strategy. I don't want to hear nobody else. I don't want to hear nothing else. This is my strategy. So I was trading supply and demand zones, and I was like, okay, some supply and demand zones fails and some don't, right? So I was gonna look into the lower time frame. Let's say I take a 15-minute zone. I look in the lower time frame to see why it possibly would fail. So I probably studied over thousands of zones, and each zones had the same confirmation when it would fail, when it would not fail, right? Let's say the 15-minute zone, on the 1 minute, it would just run through it, right? And that's, if you set a 15-minute limit, it's obviously going to run through your stop loss. But if you go in the lower time frame and you wait for a confirmation, I was looking for a confirmation model that could give me extra percent of win rate that I could have confirmation on my zones. So what I did was I just went through these zones. I kept looking for the same thing that would happen. So whenever price goes in the zone, does the same thing, and then drops out of the zone, that's kind of my confirmation that I want to enter. So that's what I've been using for the past year. And along the way, I've just been refining myself with the data I have. I just been adding and adding and adding, trying to upper my win rate. Now, obviously, my win rate is like 30% right now, but my average risk reward is 5. So at the end, it comes out. But you always want to have a bigger win rate along the way. Even the 1% could help you miles.
Yeah. Amazing. So you sound like you've taken a very practical approach. You went all in with doing your back testing, practicing,
Yeah.
really mastering the technical analysis, which is amazing. Because sometimes people spend, like myself, I spent far too long studying and not enough time applying. So it took me a little longer, whereas you just went straight into the applying, which is amazing. The next question is, what trading strategy do you use? But I'm guessing it's supply and demand then.
Yeah, it's a smart money concept. What I say
Yeah,
is I use supply and demand. I use liquidity.
nice.
I use structure. Obviously, structure is very important in trading. I use inducement, which is smart money traps. I try to identify early buyers and sellers, which is gonna give me more confidence that my zones are valid. And then I just wait for my confirmation model, and then I'm just entering. I don't care if it's a loss or a win. I just enter because I know after 100 trades I will be profitable. So whatever happens in the next 10 trades, I don't really care.
Yeah. That's so funny. I do supply and demand, smart money, market structure. We should
That's
have a
good.
private Zoom call, keep each other
Yeah,
accountable.
yeah.
So what with regards to risk management, so you've got your strategy down, you've got your pair. How do you manage risk on the charts?
Personally, I try to risk 0.25% myself because uh, what I always tell people to do is based on your win rate, you should manage your risk, right? If your win rate is high, you don't want to be risking 0.25% because you'll pass a funded account in a year. But if your win rate is low, you're always going to risk lower because your risk reward is higher, right? So if I risk 0.25, I hit a 1 to 5, I make 1.25%. But if I risk 1%, I'll make 5%, obviously. But if I lose 10 trades in a row, my account is gone.
Yeah.
But of course, if you risk 0.25%, you will rarely, like maybe 1 in a million times, you will lose your account. And that has to be a disastrous losing streak. Like, I don't know how many trades, maybe like 50 trades you have to lose in a row, which is
Yeah.
quite a lot. I mean, it can happen, but it's quite a lot. So I just, based on my win rate, which is 30%, I've set myself to risk 0.25 on my live accounts. For my challenges, I always try to risk more because I don't want to be playing too much with the challenge. Whenever I start fresh, I risk either 1 or 2%. And if I get in drawdown, I go back to 0.25. If I go in profit, well, either I pass. Usually I pass when I risk 2%. And if I don't pass, then I just keep risking 1% until I pass or get back to drawdown.
Nice, yeah. And I think this will help a lot of people because there's a lot of new traders out there who struggle on how to collect data. So you've mentioned your win rate there. How many trades, like what span of trades did you need to backtest in order to find your win rate? Was it 100? Was it, what was the amount of trades you collected data from?
But personally, you could always do from 100. But personally,
Yeah,
what I advise is to do within 300 to 500 trades.
okay.
And what I would do is to backtest actual recent data. I don't think going to backtest 2016 makes a lot of sense because I think that the market does change. I mean, maybe it doesn't change a lot, but I do still think that the market does change with the traders coming in and out. If you compare 2016 forex to 2023 forex, it's a way different thing because there are way many traders. There's probably way more volume.
Yeah.
So what I say is always go from 2022 to 2023, backtest those, and you should get at least 500 trades out. Now I know a lot of people that are lazy; they only want to get 100, then go live. I mean, you could, but that's not gonna make you win rate. That's not gonna make you average RR. You always want to know the best because the thing with collecting data is with collecting data, your psychology is gonna be one-on-one with yourself because what you do is there's always statistics behind your strategy. There's like proven statistics behind your strategy. So there's no way on earth that your feelings can get in front of you because you know, okay, I lost 10, I'll lose another 10, and then I'll win 20. Because
Yeah.
you know that your data says this. Statistics proven. It's just pure mathematics, right? Just like the paper says it. So just follow it.
Yeah, it makes it easier for you to stick to your rules there because you
Yeah,
have that
exactly.
data to back it up. Throughout your journey so far, what is the biggest struggle you faced and how did you overcome it?
I think the biggest struggle was over trading personally or over leveraging actually. Both of them are very, very things that I see a lot of people and myself struggle on. I think I still sometimes struggle on this because the thing with over trading is, I mean, there's always greed. You never have enough. You always want to do more, especially when you're doing funded challenges. That's the biggest thing that I've seen is the funded challenges are always a greed killer because with a funded challenge, you have always a target. There's always a
Mm,
target set. But if you're doing a live account, you have no target, right? I mean, obviously you're gonna overtrade because you want to make money. But the difference is, let's say I make 1K today, it's real money. I'm done with it. Okay, I'll come back tomorrow. But if it's a funded account, there's always a certain percentage that you want to have to gain. And let's say it's 8% that I want to gain. If I'm up 5%, the last 3% I might as well trade it, right? That's what your mind says because you want to
yeah.
pass it fast. You want to get back to you want to get faster to live account. You want to get faster to payout because I mean that's what we're all trying to do. We're all trying to get to the payout phase. We're all trying to get money. So what I actually did was I started to question myself, like actually very, very dumb. I started to question myself, like, can I actually do this? Am I actually disciplined enough to actually do this? And I'm gonna be honest, what really helped me is going to the gym.
Yeah.
Going to the gym somehow made me build up my discipline way more than usual because with the gym you also have discipline. Like you gotta go when you set yourself to go, even if it's 5 times, 1 time, 2 times, doesn't matter. If you tell yourself you want to go 3 times a week, you have to show up those 3 days and you have to do everything you tell yourself you have to do. And you do it because you love it, right? Same thing with trading because the reward from trading is actually miles ahead of gym. Okay, with gym you build your body and this and that, but like with trading, you have enough freedom that you could even go 70 times a week to the gym, right? Because the trading is gonna open all of that, and even with the
Yeah.
membership and stuff, everything is gonna come from the trading. So the gym helped me very much, and actually talking to my friends. Whenever I enter a position, I would tell my friend, and whenever I enter too much, I would be scared to tell him. So that's when I know, okay, I'm overtrading. Like
Yeah.
whenever you're scared to tell somebody you're entering a position, you know you're either overtrading or you're
Yeah.
taking a dumb trade. And my friends, I told them, if I take too many trades, just start to cuss me, get mad at me and stuff. And they actually would get mad and it would help me because like
Yeah.
maybe the first 5 minutes it wouldn't get to you, but like after 5 minutes, you're like, okay, what am I doing?
Mm.
And that's what really helped me, to be honest. Yeah, I have a friend Crow, he helped me a lot. So shout out to my boy Crow. He used
Yeah.
to cuss me a lot, and that really helped me. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, that tough love.
Yeah, that's real friendship right there.
Yeah, definitely. No, accountability helps so much. Like, because you can lie to yourself when you're overtraining, you just make up excuses in your head. It's like, oh, it's fine.
Yeah,
But whenever someone's calling you out on it, it's a reality check. It's like, wait, what am I doing?
exactly.
So for everyone watching, I know that you're big on, giving people value, helping them to reach where you are. What's the one piece of advice you would give them that can help them on their journey?
One piece of advice I would give is that when you're trading and you're trading one strategy, stick to the strategy. Cut out all outside noise. Don't go on Twitter or YouTube finding a new
Mm,
strategy or finding a holy grail because it doesn't exist. Trading is determined on three things, right? It's determined on data collection because you will first of all become better. Second of all, you will know the statistics behind you, so that's gonna kill your emotion. Second of all, it's managing risk. If you manage your risk according to your strategy, there's no way on earth you will blow your account because you always manage risk. And the third thing is having discipline, right? Whenever you're on the markets, you should never be scared to take a loss or take a win because the more losses you take, the closer the win is going to get. That's what I say to myself. And it actually helps me a lot because the more losses I take, the next win is going to get closer anyway. So if you don't take the loss today, you might not take the win tomorrow. So if you show up every day, doesn't matter what you trade or whatever you trade, if you're profitable or not profitable, it doesn't really not matter. You just have to show up every single day. You have to do what your system tells you to do. Go write a trading plan for yourself. and just follow that every day. You know, take a box whenever you're trading. Let's say you say, okay, I come on the charts, I do my analysis, I set my alerts, and I go away. And that's what you should do. You should not stick on the charts. You know, you should do. And whenever price comes to your alert, you should execute. You should never be scared of executing, because when you execute, you have another piece of evidence for yourself they could use to collect data on. Because backtesting and stuff is always fun, but live trade journal is always the best because it's with your emotion attached, right? So you could always write down, okay, I was doing this, I was doing that, and you can always go back and read. And I was like, okay, this is kind of dumb of me to do. So you try to avoid all of the things you're doing.
Yeah.
So you should, like, the main thing about trading is not being scared. Like, if you're scared, you're not gonna get anywhere. Like, let's be honest, the scared money don't make real money. That's the thing.
Yeah, nice. So do you journal every position you place on a live account then? Is that something you put a lot of
Yeah,
time into?
that's something I do. Yeah, but
Nice.
I don't. The journal I have is kind of strict. I just have my pair, win or loss, the risk to reward I gained, the amount of hours I hold my trades for, because I think that's very important as well. And then the trading view template, which shows the position, and then my confirmation. That's all. So I don't write my emotions and stuff, because personally I don't have any emotion right now. Like, I just execute. Doesn't matter how many risks. I don't look at my
Yeah.
MT4 and MT5 unless my position has hit SL or TP. When looking at your MT5 could actually drop down your confidence so much, because you see, like, let's say 2 to 3K floating profits. You're gonna be like, damn, bro, that's real money and stuff. But SL or TP, that's it.
So do you set and forget then?
Yeah, set and forget is a very good tactic. I mean, if you're
Nice.
scalping, then okay, you could always be on the charts, but you should never look at your money. You should always look at the percentage you're making. If I'm making 2%,
Yeah.
that's good, That might be 40K, 10K, 5K, $200. It doesn't really matter, because percentage is what's gonna get you consistent in the long term.
Yeah, for sure. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? What's the plan?
Personally, my plan is to build bigger connections where I could be speaking to private people with private equity and capital, and managing their capital, 8 to 9 figures. That's really the goal for me right now, because 8 to 9 figures, that's really what's gonna set you away from the average trader. The average trader could be getting payouts, but if you're managing 8 to 9 figures, that's like a real big different level from just managing 6 figures of profit. I mean, that's a big ass difference, which that's what I'm looking to aim for, and you need connections for that.
Yeah, so building your capital up then.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Okay, so we're on to the last one then. What's your favorite thing about Alpha Capital? You've mentioned the no commission. Is there anything else you want to
Well, I could say the no commissions as well. The market
add?
conditions are also very good for myself.
Yeah.
I trade lower time frame, which when you trade lower time frame, the spreads are really important, right? And the spreads with alpha, I'll be honest, they're very good.
Yeah.
Of course, you could see better, but then if you think about it, let's say you have 3 pip, like a 0.3 pip spread, and you have $5 per lot, right? That's you're gonna pay $8 per lot when you combine them. But with alpha, you have no commission. So even if the spread is 0.5, you're still in profit with alpha because you pay no commission. And especially when, such as me, lower time frame, a lot of trades, high lot sizes, it could be very painful with those commissions, especially when you're in a loss. The commission will add up to the loss, so that's going to be more painful. But with alpha, it's always zero commission. Customer support is perfect, always family friendly. Whenever I have a question, they always react very, very fast, and with the best advice I could get. So I'm really glad that I'm with ACG myself.
Yeah, they make you feel really looked after. They're very active in the
Yeah,
Discord group.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could feel like they're like a family, my
Yeah.
brothers. It's very nice, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good energy. Awesome. Well, that's us. That was a really good
Hope this.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope this interview was good.
It was really good. Well done. Congratulations. And this is your first
Appreciate it.
interview, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was my first. Yeah.
Amazing. First of many, many more to come.
I hope so. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it was great to meet you. I hope you have an amazing day.
Yeah, you too.